Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Travel and Tourism Podcast, my first season. Very special guest today. Yes, you are going to be very happy about this one. My guest today worked for Club Med from 1987 to 2012. He held such positions as entertainer, chief of animation, chief of sports, and chief of village. His first season was a little different. He was in Chamonix as a GM for 2 weeks, but then became a polyvalent animation GO. He has worked in such villages as Club Med Camarina, Sohoro, Faru, Bora Bora, and Corfu, just to name a few. Some fun facts about my guest. He is a huge Beatles fan and even named his son after one of the Beatles. Which one? Wait and find out. He met his future wife in Club Med Faru and they got married in Las Vegas in 2001. He is from Belgium but now lives in Japan. Please help me welcome the one and truly only Fred Dawance. Hey Fred, how are you?
Very well, thank you. Good evening. Nice introduction.
Thank you. Well, it's so nice to finally meet you because I think I heard your name throughout my whole 10 years in Club Med, but sadly I never got the chance to work with you. So it's at least I get to interview you. So this makes me very happy. So thank you for coming on the show.
Be welcome. I was very rare on the American zone. Maybe that's the reason.
Yeah, we missed each other, I guess, by a year in Bodrum. You were chief of sports, and I was the chief of
Hmm.
sport after you in '99, and you were there summer '98. But
Ah, yeah,
since we were both chief of sports at that point, we could never work together.
for sure.
So I said in your intro, you went to Club Med Chamonix, I guess, as a GM for 2 weeks. Was that the idea? You were on vacation?
Yeah. Actually, I was GM many times with my parents from the age of 4 till the end of 12. Then I stopped and started to do my own holidays. And at the end of my first year of university, I graduate very well and very early in June instead of sometime in September, and I was very surprised. And my parents were even more surprised than me because I partied a lot during the university year, and they wanted to reward me. So I said, okay, I want to go to Chamonix to do some wall climbing, and mountain, etc. And they were a bit scared that I do stupid things in the mountain. So they said, okay, but you go in Club Med, so, if your parents pay you a holiday in Club Med, you never refuse. So they pay me 2 weeks holiday, and after 1 week, I become GO. So I think I was not only au pair, I was even paying for my working time.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I had a question about that because you're at the point, you're a very good looking guy. You're young. I was curious why you went to Chamonix and not, say, Corfu, at the time. So now you explained it. You wanted to go for the outdoor sports, the rock climbing and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
It was
Uh,
really my one of my favorite sports. Even when I was a chief of village in Cervinia, I was able to climb the Matterhorn, which was one of the highlight of my sports life.
and was it the chief of village that said, you know what, you're funny, I'm going to put you as entertainer, or did you ask to do that?
I wanted to be, but like there was no entertainer actually, and there was a the chief of animation was the famous Kosi Alemai, and there was a funny stage designer and no entertainer. So I say, hey, if you want, I can be the entertainer, which I never did before, but I was during my years in Club Med from 4 to 8 to 12. I saw many good entertainer, and so I just copy them.
And because Club Med was started by a Belgian, Gerard Blitz, I'm assuming
Hmm.
that Club Med was pretty big in Belgium when you were growing up.
Yeah. At that time, I don't know now because I did not really follow Club Med closely lately, but Belgium was the second market of Belgium. And there was a huge number of Belgian geo, mostly because we are multicultural and speak most of the time a lot of language. Not always very well, but enough to be understood.
You speak quite the languages yourself now, right? I mean, you speak French, English, Japanese. You can
Well,
survive in Portuguese, Brazilian, Italian, Japanese, Dutch. I mean, that's pretty cool.
yeah, let's say I speak very good French. English is okay, but Japanese, the rest I survive. I survive, but I can. It's okay.
So, do you have any fond memories of your first season in Chamonix in summer of '87, or is it very
Oh,
hazy?
it's quite. I remember the long hours of rehearsal, which was very fun for me. And sometimes it was so late that at the end of the rehearsal, we walked till it was in Chamonix, so the club was in town. And we walked till the baker to eat some croissant at like 4 o'clock in the morning after the rehearsal.
Oh my
It,
God, really?
yeah.
Okay.
And the funny part also is that I did some week entertainer, and some other week, like around August 15, the chief of village asked me to take care of the junior club, which were the kids from 15 to 17, and I was 18. So it's better not to mention everything that we did, but it was fun.
Chamonix, is it open all year or is it just open in
At
the
that
summer?
time, well, now it doesn't exist anymore, and it was open not all year, but 2 times. I mean, for summer and for winter, with a big break in between.
Okay. And I'm guessing that from that first season, you were hooked, I should say, meaning you wanted to continue.
Yeah, but I was still at university, so after that, I was drafted for like entertainment training, which I did in '88. After I did 1 season in '88, only July, August during my law study. And I had the chance to have the two Calvé brothers as chief of village, first Patrick and then Philippe.
Wow.
And
What's
yeah,
what's that like going from one brother in Porto Petro to the other in Smear?
both very nice, but very different. But I really enjoy a lot. And Patrick was my boss years later, as he was in charge of old chief of village for a few years. And Philippe, I crossed many times because he was chief of village for a long, long time. And I also did a university training at the end of my career in Club Med, and Philippe was part of it. It was a master in business at the University of Paris.
So you're saying that you were working summer, so you were going to university during fall and
Yeah.
winter, and then you would, okay, got it.
So because I was only in third year of law, and then I had to finish my fourth year and my fifth year.
Wait,
And
excuse me, Fred, did you just say you were in
yeah,
law school?
yeah.
Okay. Okay, I didn't know that. All right. That's interesting. That's
And
very
so
interesting.
when I get my degree, I get it on a Thursday, and on Saturday I fly to my first village.
Okay, so now I have to ask you if your parents thought you were crazy now because you just see this is a fun fact that you failed to tell me. Okay. So
Well, actually, I tell them at the end of my third year, okay, I stopped law because I just don't like it, and I want to be GO, and I just did the trainee, and some entertainer that were, I would say, less good than me during the trainee were already sent to Phuket, to Ixtapa, and me, I have to study law, and I don't want, and I don't like, and blah, 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 blah. And my father convinced me to make an effort and to do what I want after when I finish my 5 years. So did I? I complete my courses, and I went for 1 year in Club Med, but for 23 years.
okay, now because I've been working for a Canadian university the last 16 years. So now looking back now, do you think your dad gave you great advice to finish at least? You know?
Yeah. I don't regret because it's a line on my resume. As I was always doing like the city man job, sometimes it was nice also to prove that I was not that stupid. And so sometimes I could answer correctly to some GM who might be sometimes disrespectful about the kind of job we were doing.
Oh yeah, that must have been pretty funny at the when you're sitting at the table, right? Oh, he's the animator, and then they start talking
Mm.
about something in the law, and you're able to speak about it. That's pretty interesting. Wow.
Mm. And also, I
Okay.
did a courses of philosophy, which was
What
also very useful for talking.
are you saying? You would have philosophical discussions at the dinner table?
Well, yes, a little bit sometimes.
Wow.
You know,
Okay.
when I work in Greece, for example, it was the place of Aristotle and Platon, etc. So it
Wait,
was a good
Fred,
place to speak about it.
you're becoming more and more interesting the longer we talked. When I asked you for fun facts, you didn't. Listeners, he didn't tell me any of this. Okay.
No, it's not fun.
Well, it's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it's just the past.
Okay. Wow. So, but you in your head, I guess you had a plan, right? Like you weren't going to be an entertainer for 10 years. You probably had, I want to be this by age.
I really wanted to be chief of village, but my first goal really was to be in charge of animation, then in charge of sports, then in charge of and as chief of village. But I don't want to rush it. I had some of my friends do that in 4, 5, 6 years. It took me 10 years, and I'm happy I took time because actually it was much more fun to be GO than chief of village.
That's right. Yeah. Much less responsibility, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, so from Smear with Philippe Calvé, you then work at Les Arcs, Winter 91, you're in Val d'Isère, and you go to Camarina. So Camarina, I guess, when you did Camarina in summer 92, was that the biggest village you had worked at so far?
Yeah, of course, it was 2,000 beds. The season was super long. I remember that I was entertainer. I think during the season, 6 stage designer resigned or were fired. So I was doing the interim of them. I lost like 10, 12 kilo. It was super long days, but I have good memories. It was, we worked 7 days a week, minimum 12 hours a day, but it was fun.
Did you ever have to come up with your own ideas, like your own, say, animation passage? Did you
Yeah,
make
of course,
any?
of course. No, I did everything I wanted.
Did you have a favorite one back then?
I liked always the animation team in Camarina was very big, like 13, 14 people, because everything is double to sound, to light, DJ, musicians. So the whole thing was quite big. So of course, sometimes I had to do passage by myself, but I like to do with a lot of people. I remember once we did the Smurfs. So we had all the animation team painted in blue,
Oh
which
boy.
was pretty funny. The day after, I told them, okay, now we don't do the Smurf, we do the frog. They say, hey, what is it? Oh, it's the same, but instead of blue, it's green, and they hate me.
Yeah, they're
But I like running
yeah.
gags.
I
Yeah,
remember back then your sheets were only cleaned once a week, right? So you got
yeah,
blue
yeah, yeah.
paint, green paint all over your sheets. Okay. Yeah, you must have been pretty popular back then.
It was
Then
okay. Yeah, it was okay.
then I see your first trip to Japan is Sahara 92, 93 with, if I'm not mistaken, the first Canadian chief of village, Pierre Letellier Gagnon.
Yes,
Was
great
this
moment.
was this your first introduction to the Quebecois accent?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes. Okay.
First one. Sometimes I did not understand him.
Okay.
I remember once he told me, okay, tu viens tu à la piscine? I said, what? Do you speak French or English? Tu viens tu à la piscine? Ah, viens-tu à la piscine? Okay. Okay, I understand.
Yeah, after a couple of weeks, you get used to it, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, was this where you fell in love with Japan? Would you say?
Actually, when I completed Camarina, my
Mhm.
my affector in Paris told me, okay, where do you want to go? And because it's a big challenge to succeed Camarina, and I say, hey, wherever, but as far as possible. And in my head was Bali or Bora Bora or something like that. And he tell me, okay, Sauro, Japan. I say, what? 400 meters? What's the ski like? It's wow, must be terrible, but okay. I say as far as possible. It's okay. I do it, and I love it. The snow is actually amazing. Japan was not yet famous. Now it is, but at that time it was really not famous. You know Japan,
Yes.
Japanese powder, and basically it was something that really was a choice that really changed my life because well, after I was affected as Chivo Village for the opening of Kabira, then my first season as Chivo Village was in Sahoro, and my second, and I did many years in Camarina, in Kabira, then in Sahoro again. And when I quit Club Med, I was in charge of a resort in Hokkaido as well, and I'm still in the mountain in Japan. So it clearly impact my life.
Yeah, and that was, and Sahara in 92 was your first time out of the European zone,
Yeah,
correct?
yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay. So yes, they did send you far. You still remember that jet lag?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it was far. Yeah, I did a very nice village, and I had the chance to do some nice enchaînement. How you say that? Like, for example, I remember I was in a training in for Chivo Sports in '93, and at the same time there was a training from Fitness Geo. So all the Fitness Geo were once joining our training, and each of the Chivo Sports we had to say, okay, my name, I come from this, and I go there. And we see which Fitness Geo would like to join us, and I was like, hey, I'm Benoit, I come from Pompadour and I go to Vitel. I'm Abdul and I come from Hammamet and I go to Smir. And me, it was, hey, I'm Fred, I come from Brazil and I go to Bali. And I mean, it was more amazing for them.
Okay. Well, yeah.
And just after that, I follow up with Club Med 2 for 1 year.
Yeah, no offense, Pompadour to Vitel is not much change,
It's not
right?
much, yeah, not
Yeah,
much fun.
okay.
But actually, I would have loved to work in Pompadour.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why?
I went many times as a trainee, and I love the campaign. I love the village. It's great for entertainment. The stage is great, and
I'm guessing you and Pierre got along because your next season you go to Les Arts in winter
yeah,
'93. Okay.
yeah,
Better, or I should say, different type of skiing there. Was it good to ski?
good, of course, yeah,
Are,
yeah. The
are,
Zark is amazing.
are snowboards starting to pop up now in Club Med or no? Not yet.
At that time, no, but monoski was popular.
Okay.
It was the apogee of monoski, which didn't last long.
Okay. That's right. Yeah.
Snowboard, I think, is a bit after. I think like 96, 97.
Okay. And I mentioned that in your intro. Okay, so you finally did get to Corfu. Okay, summer '94.
Yeah, but the wrong one.
Okay, what do you mean? Oh, there was two back then?
Yeah. There was Ipsos Corfu, which is a crazy party village, hut
That's,
village.
that's right. Okay, I
And
forgot
there's
about that.
Helios Corfu, which is the old village for old French GM with lots of stairs
So is it a
and
family village, you would say, or
no,
no?
no, not
Okay,
family, but well, just a village with lots of stairs, with the theater upstairs. Oh, it's really not well done. I
okay,
didn't like it.
okay. So you said
Except
Corfu,
I met my first mentor.
which was the chief of village, or
Yeah,
which was
Piero Rufaldi.
okay, and you two got along good.
Yeah, very well. Yeah, we did Helios together. We had not the greatest team, but very quickly he take me, hey Fred, it's going to be tough, but let's do it together. And we had so much fun, so much fun. I don't know if you know Lagitun. He was chief
Yes,
of village,
yes.
and he came. He was like on the way to his retirement, and he came in after maybe 1 week. He said, "Hey Fred, I'm going to be your entertainer for 2 months. Are you okay?" I said, "Of course." And the fun thing is that I had him as a entertainer his last season before becoming chief of village in Pakistan in 1974 when I was 6 years old, and I remember him. And he was amazed. I said, "Hey, you were in Pakistan in '74. Hey, how you know? I was there." So I had him as a entertainer, then I knew him as chief of village, and after I had it as a kind of au pair entertainer.
And where was Piero Rufaldi from?
He's from France. Yeah, he worked quite a lot in American zone and Asian zone. He's a copycat of Groucho Marx
Oh, okay.
and very funny guy. I think the best guy I saw on stage in terms of mime and many sketches of Club Med that were famous that many people do with tons of accessories. He do without any accessories because he doesn't need. He can remime if he mime a table. He can sit without chair. He take a cup of tea. Doesn't need to have a cup of tea. It was so well done.
Yeah, because after Corfu, you did Valbeia and then Itaparica with him, right?
Yeah.
All right. So you get to Brazil in '95, '96.
Hmm.
What did you think of Brazil?
I loved it. I loved it. We had a good team, lots of things to do with the pressure of the country management, which was very strong and still the same at the moment. Is Janik Dode, and with big events to do. Hey Fred, we have the opening of the new airport of Itaparica. I want a plane that fly over the swimming pool for the cocktail. So I had to build a plane to fly over the swimming pool. I did it, and the day before, I said, "Oh, I'm sorry," because it was supposed to be I don't know, like a Boeing 737, but finally the run was too short, so it's a plane with propeller. So I want propeller on the plane. He told me that like 10 hours before the cocktail.
Serious?
So
And you did
yeah.
this?
Of course.
Okay. My God. Okay.
But it was not a fake one, huh? It was with a plane and with a cable and all that stuff.
That sounds like that sounds like a huge, huge job, though. No.
No, yeah. But we had already the system because we used to do a Aladdin show and the magic carpet fly over the pool.
Oh,
So we
really?
just had to change the magic carpet for a plane.
Oh my God. That's this. Yeah, this sounds pretty big. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't recall doing anything that big. Okay. We were, just jumping in the pool, and you guys got planes and magic carpets flying over it. Yay! Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
So spring Pompadour. So I guess '96. You do a stage. Was this
yeah.
for stage
Chief
animation?
of sports.
Chief of sports. Okay. So I guess so during the season in Itaparica, you made the decision to become. And how did you get chosen back then to be on the stage? Were you chosen, or do you just submit your
Well,
name?
since the beginning, I said to the chief of village, okay, I want to be chief of sports. I love entertainment, but because the Piero was profoundly entertainer and entertainment oriented, and I say, okay, I think I can be a good chief of sports with a good entertainment background. That helps, and because he had also always an expression like when he sees some people doing so sketch a sketch on stage, he say, oh, it's funny like a chief of sports. That was his expression. We make me laugh, and so it was a bit challenging for that, but yeah, I like it like that.
How long was the stage at Pompadour?
It
1 week or 2 weeks?
oh, good question. 1 or 2 weeks, but it was two. No, I think it was 1 week. We did 1 week in Pompadour and after 1 week in Vitel. 6 months
About
after.
about how many were you? Do you recall? Roughly
About 15.
15. Were you in a classroom like all day like I was? Like how
No,
was
we,
the
well,
stage?
well, there was a bit of sports, a bit of management, a bit of the trainer was Michel Berger.
Oh yes, okay.
Many of the chief of sports that were in my group become chief of village, not all of them.
Like
I
oh, like
was, I
who, for
was
example?
Valérie Brûlé, Valou,
Oh, okay.
Christine Fonol, enfin Christine Beloufa. Who else? Saber,
Oh, okay. Saber
Saber
Fajar.
Fager,
Okay.
Arnie Arnoldo,
Okay. Oh wow, it's a
Arnie.
big group.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and others.
Did you learn anything you didn't already know? Or
Yeah,
about
well, I still remember the basic of teaching of our job. So check the product, check the pedagogy, check the what else?
Mhm.
Check the geo, and that's it.
Yeah, but now they send you, but do they send you to Vitel for a follow-up stage?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I forget which
Okay.
what part was in where, but yeah, yeah.
Okay.
The stage was in 2 times basically.
Okay. Yeah, and I guess
Two
later
session.
years it changed to a one like mine was only 1 week in OPO and that was it. So we didn't have to go
Mhm.
back. But I was just curious why in the autumn they sent you to Vitel. Okay. Now, do you get so now you're waiting, right? You wait to see which resort you go to as first season chief of sport. You
I
get
knew
there.
I knew already. I knew already.
Oh,
Actually, just before going to leaving Itaparica to go to the stage, I was told, "Oh, you will go to Phuket with Patrick Calvé." And during the stage, they say, "Oh, you don't go to Phuket." I say, "Oh, you go to Bali." Oh, okay.
okay. So they told you during the stage. Okay.
Even before, even before.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
Mm.
So summer '96, you're in Bali with Bernard Vigier
Yeah.
and Bali. It's
And
that's
Bali was
that's
a great memory because we had great team with many soon to be chief of village. There was me. There was Said, my dear friend, which is in heaven, Said
yes.
Benaji.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, there was Gus.
Oh,
There
Gus was
was,
there.
yeah, yeah, he was in charge of animation. I was in charge of sports. There was Christelle Benaj, who was chief of bar. Said was tennis chief. A bit later came Joe Templin.
Oh wow. Okay. That's a big talented team.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, Joe and me, we crossed. We were not together. We did not work together at that
Okay.
time. I work a
Okay.
lot with him, but after with my second mentor.
Okay. After this season, now, did you request to go on the Club Med too for
No,
your
I
full?
request to go to Pompadour,
Okay.
and it was supposed to be with Stéphane Joly, and he was one of the best in entertainment. So I was really happy to. I heard it was possible I go, and nothing happened. So I think I was going to Pompadour, and once I received at that time it was a telex or a fax from La Bourse from my affector. Hey, following your affectation, can you send your passport? I say, hey, passport, we're going to Pompadour. That's a bit strange. So I call them. Oh, no, no, sorry, we forget to tell you, don't go to Pompadour, you go to Club Med 2. Is it okay for you? I said, yeah, where is it? Ah, in Australia. Fine.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah,
where it was docked?
yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. I have
So
a
we were in dry dock in Ulumulu in Sydney for 1 week. Then
wow.
we
Excuse me, Fred. That just rolled off your tongue. Like most people can't pronounce Woolloomooloo, but
Ulumulu.
that just rolled off your tongue. Okay.
Is it Mulu Wulu or Ulumulu? Well,
Well, no,
something like that.
it's a W. No, no, you said it right. You said it right.
Ulumulu.
It
Yeah.
just impressed me. But let me ask you a question. So before when I started Club Med, there was like two places I didn't want to go: Sandpiper or the boat. However, I changed my mind when I saw it in the port of Bodrum that day. So were you like me? Did you say, "Oh, I never want to work on the boat," or you were open
No,
to it?
the two places I didn't want to go is Sahoro and Camarina.
Okay.
Once I opened the Trident, the book of Clement, and say, oh, this one I
Yes.
want, this one I want,
Yeah.
and in the coming year I did both of them. So after I never say I don't want to go there or there.
What was your route when you were on the Club Med
So
to?
I went on board on dry dock, which is quite impressive. After 1 week, the water was put in the dock, and we take off, if I can say. We take off. We went to Sydney Harbour. It takes 15 minutes maybe. We stayed in Sydney Harbour and we left at night. We went for 4 days. We crossed to New Caledonia. New Caledonia, we sailed for 4 months between Nouméa, Île des Pins, Ouvéa, Port Vila. So it's Port Vila is I forget even the name of the country. And the Vanuatu Islands.
Wow.
Yangen, where there was another Club Med. Then we sail after 4 months. We sailed to Fiji. We did 2 stops in different island of Fiji, and then we keep on crossing, and we reach after the total was 13 days, so 5 days plus 8 days. We reached Bora Bora, and for 8 months we did Papeete, Bora Bora, Morea, Rangiroa, Huayne. It was good.
This sounds amazing. Like I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
became very very jealous while you were talking. Okay.
it was really nice.
And the
The
so the chief
diving in Rangiroa was so amazing.
the chief of this boat is Vincenzo del Zingaro. Now,
Yes,
so how different is doing a chief of sport job, in a village as opposed to the boat? Do you have less to do or more to do?
more to do.
Okay.
More to do because first the chief village was very demanding, but we had a good team. We had like out of 60, we were 13 Belgian, so we had a strong link, and it's actually the season I still have the most contact.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I still have at least 6, 7 people. I'm not every day, but once a week we send a little message, or we are still, and even before Facebook, we were still already still contacted.
Is this the boat? Is this the picture I see? Is the back end of the boat opening up and people are
Yeah,
water
yeah,
skiing?
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
that's is this something easy to do? Open the
yeah,
back of the
yeah,
boat?
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Basically, we don't have to do it. You just push on the button. It's the people of the boat who did it, the sailor. After it's a bit no, it's not every day the same topic. So once you know how it works, it's okay. But sometimes you will bring everything at the beach, which is not far away. Sometimes you do everything from the boat. So there are different possibilities.
Was there always a lineup for water skiing whenever you would do it?
No, it was
Okay.
not that. It's not the no. It's not a water ski village. No, nobody come there to do water ski. It happens that there is water ski and some people do, but it's not a Corfu or something like that.
Did anyone, when you were on it, any GMs miss their port of call, so to speak? Did they miss the boat or no?
Not that I remember. I remember that once we changed route to save some lost people who was in Tahiti, people who had some problem with their boat, no more motor, and they stay a week without any assistance, and we rescue them.
Okay. Wow. All right.
Yeah, they were very hungry.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. Okay.
This I remember, but no, nobody missed the call.
Okay. I
I
guess.
have a funny story on it actually.
Oh yeah.
It's a little bit well, it's okay. It's personal, but I don't care. One morning I wake up and I had my was super big. So I reach the phone, call the doctor because we have a doctor on board, and I tell him, "Hey doctor, please come here." He come to my cabin and check. Hey, you have a twist. I say, "Oh,
Okay.
how does it
Okay.
happen?" He said, "Oh, can happen when you have sex, when you do sports, or spontaneously." I said, "Well, this time I guess it's spontaneously because I didn't do anything. So what do we have to do? You must have a surgery, okay? And I'm in the middle of the ocean, okay? If not, what happened? We have 4 hours, otherwise you lose your." But he said, "Don't worry, you can live only with one."
Oh boy.
That's it. Let's go for the surgery. So the boat was not too far away from Moria. So I took a speedboat to join Moria, and from Moria I took a small plane to join Tahiti, and I had a surgery with a full anesthesia, etc., etc.
Okay. Wait. One. Excuse me, Fred. So were you worried at all about having testicular surgery in a country not
No,
known
no,
for?
it's France. No, it's good hospital, and no, I
Okay.
was not worried at all.
Okay.
And 2 days after I came back on the boat, difficult to walk because the are cut, so we have stitches on the which is a bit painful.
I don't mean to
And I
laugh, but
remember,
no one's ever
yeah,
had a
no, but
story. No one's ever
the,
had a
the
story like this before. Okay.
I was not supposed to tell anyone. The chief ologist told me don't say anything, but and I could not really work, and I was not supposed to work for 2 weeks. I was having dinner with the kitchen table, so I arrived at the table. Everybody knew, and I knew they knew. So I say, "Okay, guys, it's just it's a bit painful for my, but that's it. Don't worry." And that's it. And after I remember I had a special underwear with a hole for my to go through. And I remember changing in, I don't know if you know the boat, but the changing room for the show is super small and everybody mixed together. And it was my big moment of glory to take off my trouser at that moment.
Wow. Okay. I don't know where we go from here. That's some story. But everything's okay, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
No worries.
Wow.
Now I
Okay.
can have that. I can say that my are fixed.
Okay.
They are attached. They cannot twist anymore.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Okay. I don't know where we go from here, but I'm gonna segue
Back
now.
to you.
Okay. I
Mhm.
guess after all that fun in the sun and the beach, you wanted to go back to the snow because you go to Les Arts, winter '97 with Jean-Philippe Hiver,
Well,
or was
actually,
that
the plan normally was to stay on the boat to do the crossover to come back to the Atlantic Ocean by the south of America by how you call that, Ushuaia, etc. The Cap, the no, this famous cap over there.
oh, okay? You're talking about Cape Horn,
Yeah, Cape
uh,
Horn, by the Cape Horn, because the chief of village was supposed to stay there, but he was often sick on the boat, so he decided at the last minute not to go. So I was cancelled as well. Then he told me, okay, you come with me to Chamonix. I say okay. Then at the last minute, I don't go to Chamonix, I go to Val d'Isère, but there is already a guy in charge of entertainment, so you will find something else. And I found in the corridor of La Bourse, somebody was looking for chief of entertainment. It was Jean-Philippe Hiver, and
oh,
I went to Les Arcs.
are you serious? You just happened to both be at the Bourse at the same time, and it was
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Really,
Oh,
it was really. Okay,
okay.
I'm looking for chief of entertainment. Oh, okay, I can do. I did. Okay.
Okay. That's pretty lucky. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that was
And
my third stay at Les Arcs. I went 3 times.
that's right. That's right. And then now you go to Turkey following
Yeah,
summer '98
yeah.
with
To
Carlos
Bodrum
Castro.
to join my second mentor, Carlos Pacheco Castro.
Yes, very good.
My papa.
Shout out Carlos. He was a guest on this show. So
Yeah,
yes,
yeah, I know.
very entertaining.
Actually, we met in Bali
Oh, okay.
when he was taking over after Bernard Vigier. And as soon as he touched the floor in Bali, our eyes crossed and very quickly, and things get very well for both of us together. And we work only maybe 1 month together, but we were looking forward to work more. And so when I was so happy when he asked me to go to Ballroom, I started to work with Joe Templin as well.
Okay.
Then after, at the end, he said, "Okay, guys, I go to Paradise Island. I would like both of you to come, but can you go along? And you're two nice guys. You should work together." So we said, "Okay, yes, let's try." So we went together to Paradise. It was better, a bit difficult though. Then Carlos left. Then next chief of village arrived. It was difficult as well, but Joey Templin and I, like really create link at that moment.
You
But I
bond
was on.
you bonded?
What do you
Like
mean?
you bonded meaning like you when the chief of villages changed, you
Yeah,
got
yeah,
along
yeah,
you got along more?
yeah, very well.
Okay.
Not too much with the chief of village, but
Mhm.
chief of animation and chief of sport together very well. Then he was heavy smoker, and we both don't smoke. It creates some tension.
Okay.
But I was already on the way to go to Kabira to do the opening of Kabira. And at the opening day of Kabira, the guy in charge of entertainment resigned. So Meti, who was my chief of village for the opening, asked me if I know someone. I said yes, Joy. So he joined, and we passed chief of village together after.
Yeah, because
And
after
our
your
first village, I was Faru and he was Kani, and so we were still a
yeah,
neighbor.
you
Then he
so
replaced me in Sahoro as well, so we crossed many times.
so during the Kibera season, are you informed that you'll be going to the stage in Paris in winter 2001?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, it was a bit funny because we had a big party for the birthday of Meti, and I worked already with Meti for 3 months when Joey arrived. So I was kind of assistant of Meti, and it never happened to Meti, but I think he had that day a big hangover. So he tell me, okay, check the facts, etc. I said, there is a list of the new chief of village, and I tell him the name. He said, hey, you are not on it, and Joey is yes. Oh, that's not normal. And he called everybody, and I was added. And after there was the opening of Kabira with Philippe Bourguignon, etc., who came, and Meti did a lot of lobbying, and I joined the group.
Okay, and
So thank you,
what?
Meti.
Yes, yeah, yeah. Thank you, Mehdi. What very big group too. Let's just go over some names that were there: Gilles Lacram, Vincent Benazi, Gus, Joey
Yeah,
Templin, Philippe Charlin,
I
Angie.
think Gilles Lacrampe is the only one that's still chief of village.
Okay, and you also had Angie Boucher, Saïd,
Mm-hmm.
Pepe, Mimi, Gazo. So that's a pretty
Mm.
big team, right?
Yeah, many dead already. It's too
Yes,
sad.
sadly, right? Yes. Rest in peace. Yes. And this takes place in Vitello, La Bourse. Where do you start your
Mainly,
stage?
mainly in Paris.
Okay.
Mainly in Paris. Yeah. Then we did
Okay.
a bit of. I forgot where did we go? I guess in a bit in Vitel, a bit in maybe Opio.
Okay.
But
So you
mainly, I remember that the year before us, they went to America well, they travel a lot. I think ours were less budget.
okay. Got it. And and you go to these villages to learn, say, economa here, and then you go to
Yeah, yeah,
learn.
yeah.
Okay. And roughly how long was your stage?
About 4 months, 3 months,
Oh,
4 months.
oh,
Yeah,
okay. Wow.
from beginning of December till beginning of March.
Okay.
And I
Which pro
remember at the end of the training, I was told, okay, you go to Villars, fine, for like interim. We always
Mhm.
start with interim. And my friend Pepe was chosen to go to Faru, but Pepe never ever did the Asian zone, so he started to stress. So me, I went back home, take my ski and everything. I come back to La Bourse because I am from Belgium. It's not far away. And say, can we change? Can you go to Faru and not to? I say, with pleasure, but can I go back to home because I don't take my ski to go to Faru? And that
So
was a bit the story.
Western water skis, right? No.
No, it was ski.
Okay. So do you think about this moment a lot? Because if I'm not mistaken, this is where you meet your future wife, correct?
Well, actually, my wife, we met without being together in Kabira when I was chief of sports.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
found her back in Faru with her boyfriend, and I both recruit them to go to Sahoro,
Okay.
and the rest is history.
All right. So you were doing a interim chef de village in
Yeah.
Faru. Okay.
Mhm.
And then you
Already
become
knowing that I was going to Sahoro.
Saharo. Okay. And did they send you to Saharo because you already knew the village?
I guess, and well, when you always can ask where you want to go, and when you knowing which village they give to first season chief of village, and everybody ask Djerba la Fidèle, Chefalou, and no Party Village, etc. And I was the only one to ask for Sahro. And well, honestly, since the beginning of the training, I because the country manager told me already, okay, we'll wait for you in Sahro. I knew I was going there, and especially because not because I was the best, because nobody wanted to go there. So as my request was, no, it's not popular village, and I was sure to go.
And by this point, does your Japanese get much better? Like
Not at
speaking?
all, not at
No.
all.
Okay.
No.
All
Well,
right.
it was better than the average chief of village for sure,
Okay.
but not good. And even after my 5 years in Sauro, it was very bad. When I first worked in Japan outside of Club Med, I realized how much my Japanese was bad.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You never use
Now,
it. If your team you speak French, English, and
now, are the majority of the guests that go to Sahara, the GMs, are they Japanese?
at that time, yes, but not anymore. In summer, it was 100% foreigners.
Okay.
Sorry, Japanese, and in winter, my first year, the most foreign week was 20% of foreigners. And my last season, so in 2007, it was average 50% of foreigners. And now I guess it's maybe 80%. Maybe less now because they opened two other villages in the mountain. And I think the Japanese choose Sauro and the Chinese go to Tomamu and Kiroro.
Okay. At some point, though, during the season, I think after you go to Vegas to get married, correct?
Yes, yes,
Okay. So something worked out. So that congratulations. Okay. And
yes.
then you say you go on a Japanese tour, a tour of like in 2003. Do they just
Yeah.
you go from village to village? Is that right?
No, 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 no. I was in Vitel speaking at 2 o'clock in the morning with Henri Giscard d'Estaing, which was not yet CEO. He was general director, but in charge of Asia. He said, Fred, after these 2 years in Sauro, it would be good that you join a bit the effort commercially to boost the occupancy of the Japanese village. Okay, he was 2 o'clock. He had his whiskey, cigarette, so I was not 100% sure he would remember the day after. But anyway, I called my friend Abdel Ziati in Tokyo. He was in Tokyo office, and I tell him, yeah, Abdel, we have to come up with some proposals. And so we came up with 3 points: 1 week, 2 weeks, and 6 month plan because I had no idea of budget or whatever. And after it was refined and it was reduced to a 1 month plan. So we had like a rock and roll caravan. We had a double deck bus plus one truck. Everything was completely Club Medized. So logo everywhere. It was beautiful picture of Club Med. And so we moved from town to town, from Sahoro to Fukuoka. Some city we stay a few days, like Tokyo, Osaka. We did a bit well, we did, I forget, like 20 cities. And we had a 2 hour set, which was a bit of show, a bit of Club Med presentation, a bit of games, a bit of music, a bit of juggling, a bit of happening, and we start again. And it
Okay.
was very funny. And so we start like the plan was to do the set 4 times from 10 to 6, but after we realized it was impossible, so we did only 3 times, so 10, 2, and 4. And 4 we traveled to the next city. So many good memories there.
That
I
sounds like
remember
a
once we had a show like on a stage in the street. But everything was well organized. Huh? It was not it was everything with authorization, etc. We had a show at Ichimaru-kyu at Shibuya. I don't know. It's the famous crossover in Tokyo where you have 1 million people who pass per day. You know, it's a
Wow. Okay, I did not know that.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's very famous. And we had our entertainer was a small chubby Australian nugget, and he had a parody of Madonna, which he did very well, but it was completely silly because he was like 1 meter 60 and
Okay.
close to 100 kilos, so it was very funny. And everybody, it was the beginning of a small of a mobile phone, so everybody take picture, and it was very funny.
Okay.
Excellent memories of that trip. And also during we do the show, the Club Med commercial team from Tokyo organize Educ tour in the bus, doing a tour of the city, and there was video in the bus explaining the travel agent, all the concept of Club Med, and after they come to see the show and one of the sets. And it turns out to be that the next summer was one of the best summer of Club Med in Japan. We had basically 700 travel agents who were educated to Club Med.
Wow. Félicitations. That's great.
It was nice, very nice memory. We were 20 GO on the run. Actually, 14 GO plus 6 helpers.
The big team. My God.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. It was big budget.
Okay. At one point during the interview, I asked geos if, during their time, did they learn any sport they never tried or special skill? So you did learn a skill. You became quite a proficient magician, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I studied with one because when I was entertainer, I realized I was not that good on stage, and also when I was the first time in Japan, I knew one or two magic trick, and I realized that when you don't speak the language, it's something that is okay. It's visual, so I start with the famous Presti bidon, but finish with a real nice magic trick. So and little by little, I get rid of the Presti bidon and start to have a more and more elaborated show. And when I become chief of village, and also before, I had a chance to welcome a lot of very good magicians as a club med artist. Most memorably, the Antonio, which is the winner of France Got Talent a few years ago, is now the most famous magician in France, maybe one of the top three, I would say. And we become very good friends. He teach me a lot. We exchange tricks. I had also my dear friend Mimosa, who unfortunately is in heaven as well, but he was a world champion of comedy magic, and he really inspired me a lot. Yesterday, I had a show again, and I would say that 60% of my show is thanks to him.
And would you say your specialty in magic is it sleight of hand? Like, is there a name for?
I do a bit of everything. I do cards. That was the first thing, cards. Then comedy magic. Then mentalism, which is also related to comedy. But when I
Okay.
was chief of village, I had a full show with a dove, hats, big illusion,
Oh, really?
cutting my wife into. Yeah, I had a whole
Okay.
show.
Where do
Yeah,
you find doves in the village?
I always bring them.
Oh, wait a minute. Are you serious? You travel with
Yeah.
doves?
Well, sometimes I could, sometimes I could not.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, the rabbit was more difficult. Dove was okay. The rabbit was difficult to
Did you ever
travel.
try to find doves and or a
Y-
rabbit
y-
when you got there to the?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Oh, you
yeah, yeah.
did?
And also I had a parakeet,
Okay.
budgie board. So
Okay.
yeah, yeah. When I was in Tunisia, I had a lot. I had even 2 ducks. I had like 8 doves, 2 rabbits.
Okay. You use
Yeah.
ducks during. How do you use a duck during a magic show? I
It's
never.
a very famous trick from David Copperfield. You can see,
Oh, is
check
it
on
hard?
YouTube.
Is it hard
Duck
to
duck
train?
magic.
Is it hard to train a duck?
No, well, you
No.
don't. They don't do nothing. So you
Okay.
just grab them, and
Okay. You say
it's
stand here, they stand there. Okay. Okay.
there's no training. It's easy.
Okay. All
Doves,
right.
doves, you need to train a bit,
Okay.
but
Oh,
and rabbit as well. But
this is
duck,
yeah.
no.
Well, okay. I find this a fun fact, Fred. You didn't mention this is interesting that you traveled with with your act. Okay,
Yeah,
with
actually, my rabbit I bought just before Metaponto. So he was in Italy after he joined me in Pontresina in Switzerland. Then we fly. He could not join me to Turks and Caicos, so he stayed with my parents at home in Belgium. Then we fly to Japan. He stayed in Japan for the rest of his life. And normally a rabbit is supposed to live for 7, 8 years, and my rabbit lived 13 years.
Whoa. Wow.
Maybe, and I give him a lot of stress, to do magic. It was 4 dogs who were transformed into one rabbit, and the rabbit jump on a small Mini Cooper remote control car and leave the stage in the remote control car.
Okay.
It was
Wow.
good fun.
And that's also a very well traveled rabbit. I think he's been in more places than I have. I think.
Yeah, yeah. And he was able to do catalepsy, to I make him sleep, which was a very good trick.
Well, wait. You mentioned Turk. So this is the part I'm also interested in because I mentioned in your intro you're a big Beatles fan. So was
Yeah.
it? So this is, I believe, is your second time in the American Zone, Turks 2004. So is this where you meet Paul McCartney?
Yes.
Where do you how does one meet Paul? Does he have a place there?
No. He was at Parrot Key. There is a hammam resort there, and we had an agreement between day manager and our managers. Our managers could go there to relax, and day manager could come at Club Med to party.
Okay.
And one day, my hotel service manager told me, "Hey, Fred, you won't believe it, and I guess you will be a bit pissed off, but yesterday I had a beer at Parrot Key with Keith Richards." I said,
Oh.
"Wow, nice, but I'm not pissed off. I'm very happy for you." Yeah, but in front of Keith Richards, there was Paul McCartney. I said, "What?" Okay, we had a meeting, a chief of service meeting at 10 o'clock on Monday morning. Okay, you do the meeting, I go to Parrot Key. So I went directly. It was raining and not a good day, but whatever. So I spent the whole day around the pool. I had an iPod, which was kind of new at that time, waiting for Paul McCartney. And one moment there was less rain, and he showed up with his daughter, and he started to speak with the people next to me. So I joined the conversation, and well, I noticed he didn't want to be bothered, so I say, "Well, I have to go. But before I go, can you sign my iPod?" And he said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I don't do that. I'm on holiday, but shake my hand. I will be happy." So, "Oh, me too." And after I tell him, "Oh, look at my iPod," and I was looking, let's do a song from his album Flaming Pie, which I forget the title, but whatever. It was a love song, and I told him, "Well, I'm very happy to see you because this was the song of the opening of my wedding. Oh, I'm very touched. I'm very happy," which was absolutely not true, but it was just to break the ice.
Yeah. Well, what's it like meeting a Beatle, and especially one that you admired for so long? It must be surreal, no? He's
Yeah,
standing
yeah,
right
yeah.
in front of you, right?
I was shaking. I was like a 16 years old girl in front of the Beatles in 1964.
Except without the screaming, right? Or did you scream? Okay.
Without refraining to scream.
Okay. Wow, that's incredible.
I saw him in concert in Las Vegas, in Zurich, and in Tokyo.
Wow. Now considering that big momentous occasion, would he be mad that you named your baby Lennon instead of McCartney?
Oh, not at all. Because as
No.
a first name, McCartney sounds terrible.
True. Lennon is
Lennon is no
actually,
Lennon, Lenny, Len is okay.
yeah. Yeah, no, it's a nice name. And you said he was there with his daughter. Was that Stella McCartney?
No. It was the one he had with the broken leg one.
Oh yes. Okay. I got it. All right.
Forget the name.
Okay. Wow. All right.
I'm not that
So,
fan that I know the name of the
oh,
kids.
okay. Yeah. But you know the music, right? Okay.
Yeah. Way better.
And was Keith Richards there that day too, or no?
No.
No. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Because I
And I
think,
had the chance to do a lot of Beatles concert when I was Chivo Village. I had always good musician. We did also a Beatles show with all live songs from the Beatles.
so
With
you did you sing or play an
yeah.
instrument?
I sing
Okay.
with better people than me,
Okay.
with Filipinos and Canadian guy. We had very nice band. I have a very funny story about that.
Okay.
We It concerned Mathieu, and we were doing a GM party in Osaka, I think. So at the end of the season in Sapporo, we go to Osaka and to Tokyo to do some GM party and to connect with the GM. And we decide to do a Beatles show in a ballroom in a ballroom in a hotel. So we did that very well. And after nighttime, said, okay, guys, enjoy. See you tomorrow. We leave at 8 o'clock. So have fun, but be wise. And so I go to bed with my wife. Everybody go a bit outside. And in the morning, my Alan, which was in charge of entertainment, my musician, say, boss, I have a problem. Mathieu is not in the room. I say, what? He didn't come back? Yes, he came back. Okay, but where is he? I don't know, but I have another problem. His passport is here, his shoes are here, his clothes are here, but he's not here. So I say, so you mean he's naked somewhere? Yes. So we start to, okay, guys, I call all my team. Okay, guys, we check everything in the hotel. After 30 minutes, we say, okay, let's tell to the hotel management that we have this little problem. So I tell them that. We went to the station, we went on the roof of the hotel, we went in the laundry, we look everywhere. So one moment there was a GM, fan of, there was many GM were fan of Geo's, and young one say, okay, this is $200. If you see Mathieu, you give him, you buy clothes, you give him, and you put him on train because we have the Beatles concert tonight at Tokyo. And so we left, and actually, maybe 1 hour later, they called me, okay, we found him. Actually, during the night, he went to pee, but after peeing, instead of going on the left to his bed, he went on the right in the corridor, and it was auto-lock door. So he was naked in the corridor, and we believe that somebody put him in a room, and he wake up in another room.
Okay.
And so when he wake up, he was naked. He took a towel, joined his first room, and in the first room there was the police and the hotel director, and say, "Are you Mathieu?" Yes, yes. Oh, and he did nothing bad, so there was no problem. But and he could join. He arrived like 5 minutes before the show in Tokyo. It was funny.
Did he perform okay?
Yeah. I think he had a bit of headache.
Okay. All right. Classic.
Yeah. You know him?
No. I would like
No.
to. I would like to party with this guy. He sounds like he'd be a lot of fun. Okay, Fred. So I see in 2007, 2008, you are in Bora Bora as chef de village.
Yes.
So this is one of the villages you visited when you were aboard the Club Med 2, yes?
Yeah. But actually, I went only once because the boat was not really close to the village, and I was busy doing my job on the boat, so it was not a day off. So I didn't. I went once only to the village during my time on Club Med 2.
Okay.
Yeah, I was affected on the village, and at that time it was like, no, it was 4 tridents, but honestly, we always say it was 7 tridents for the beauty of the lagoon and 2 tridents for the village itself. But it was very nice, and we had a good team. And depending the chief of village, some chief of village were very closing the doors to outside people. I decided to open it because otherwise it was a bit boring. So once a week we did a Friday night fever. Every day was welcome, but obviously we were targeting mostly the nice masseurs people from the other resorts. So we had nice people coming, and big party every week. It was very nice. Once a week, and it was good for our guests because one day it was less boring and more animated, and good for us because we do business, etc. Globally, we did pretty well.
Okay, Fred, in 2009, I see your baby Lennon is born in Kabira.
He was born during the time I was in Kabira, but not in Kabira.
Oh, okay. Where
on the
was he
main
born?
island of in Kyushu.
Okay. So does that make your baby Japanese? Like, how does it work now for nationality?
Yeah, my wife is Japanese, so he's Japanese and Belgian. He has both nationality.
Okay. Wow. Okay. This is incredible. Okay. And so you're chief of village in Kibera. And so do you make this an announcement like during the show at all or no? Like, hey everyone, I'm a dad, or do you keep it low key?
Oh no, it was after.
Oh, after. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Right after. Yeah. Okay. So you finished your season, and
yeah,
then
with
they they tell you're going to Hammamet, chef de village, in
Yeah, so he was
2010, right?
born during the interseason.
Okay. All right. Now, did you ask for Hammamet or they just send you there?
Oh no.
Okay. It's a big village, right? Okay.
Yeah, it's a big village in Europe, but me, I wanted to stay in Asian zone.
Okay.
But they always want to challenge you, and
Yeah.
so I went for first two for replacement at the end of the season because, and I went. It was nice, only 1 month. Okay, you did well. You go back next year. Okay. The good thing was that you were off during the winter.
Oh, okay.
Actually,
That's right.
yeah. Actually, being naturally a little bit lazy like everyone, I've always liked to work in villages that are closed during the some periods, not to work 12 months a year.
And
That's why I was a lot in Sahoro. I was working only July, August, and November, April.
okay, we should tell our listeners in case they're wondering about the connection. We have about 6,500 miles between us. I'm in Montreal. You're in Japan, and your Japan is 14 hours ahead of
Yeah,
Montreal. So, if there is a slight connection, then problem or audio that might be it, listener. So, and
that's
it's
possible.
very early for me, very late for Fred. So, so more than thank you, Fred, for doing it. For agreeing to this time for you because I know it's not
My
easy.
pleasure.
All right. And now, so presently you live and work in Japan, correct?
Yes, yes, yes.
Are you still involved in resorts at all?
From far away, I was in charge of Kiroro, which is the village that the resort that Fosun, so the owner of Club Med, bought 2 years ago during the end of the Corona. So of course I left because I just left Club Med. It was not to be back in Club Med. It was not possible anyway. And I'm back in the place I was before Kiroro, where I bought a home. And after that, I worked a bit for a hotel. Then I decided to stop being involved in hotel, and I start my little business of home renovation, refurbishment. So the home in Japan are very cheap, so we can buy house, renovate, and sell to Australians because the house in Australia are very expensive, so they can't believe the price I can give them for home here. And it's good for ski and have nice little place to stay in Japan.
Now, do you do any of the renovation yourself?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, where did you learn this then?
I was stage designer.
Okay. Okay, so
No, and
what you
also
learned
also
so what
actually when I worked for a resort here for 2 years after I stopped, I bought my home and I decided to renovate it by myself with the help of a ex-second de maintenance from Clemed that is also living in Japan, Jean-Paul Laporte. And so we work together. When I joined Kiroro, I tell him, hey, please come to help me for some renovation for staff room, etc., etc. When I move to another resort, I'll always bring him with me. And one moment, when I decide to stop, I say, hey, why we don't work together? I will do a bit of marketing and find a new contract. I help you. I'm kind of in demand. So, and we start. And so far for 1 year, we work a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. We have a lot of business. So I'm doing that. Plus, I'm also a ski instructor and guide, and I have some Airbnbs, and I'm a magician as well. So
well,
I'm
yeah,
pretty busy.
I'm thinking I think you're a Renaissance man, Fred, because you're a lawyer. You're, you're a magician. Now you know how to renovate. I mean, you do it all, right? I'm guessing.
I do a bit of everything, so I don't get bored.
Does your wife know how lucky she is? Okay, because you seem to be that guy that just does it all.
She's doing also a lot of things, so it's okay.
Okay, okay, good,
Mhm.
good. Wow, this is incredible. Okay, Fred, we are coming to the end of our hour, or just a little over an hour. And looking at your quite impressive career, I'm wondering, you don't seem to be a guy who has any regrets. You're glad that you went to Chamonix that summer of '87, and
Absolutely, for sure. The 23 years in Club Med is probably the most 23 beautiful years of my life. But the 12 years I had after Club Med were very enjoyable as well. So no regrets.
excellent, excellent.
No regrets.
So, would you suggest to someone listening to this if they're thinking about applying to Club Med to give it a shot? At least for six
Of
months.
course, of course.
Okay.
Well, it changed. I guess it's not exactly how crazy compared to what it used to be, but I think it's still a great experience.
Yeah, I'm glad we. I guess you're glad you were there in the late '80s and '90s, right? That was a good
Yeah,
time, right?
happy it was in the 80s and 90s. Happy there was no Facebook as well.
Yeah, social media. That's usually one of my
Yeah,
questions. Are you glad we didn't have social media?
yeah. I think
Okay.
it was better
Okay.
because maybe my most crazy story actually was in Sauro, where one night we decided to do out of line flying trapeze naked.
Okay.
So
Not
that would
mention
not have
any names. Yeah.
no names, no names.
I'm kind of picturing it though. It must hurt because the net is very coarse. So
And actually, my wife was the onsen, and she see only when we were at the peak. Hey, hey.
oh, I'm sure you got more stories, but I bet we better end it here. Okay.
If
Oh,
I look
Fred.
carefully, maybe I can find more crazy, but I think that one was pretty crazy.
Well, I do thank you so much, Fred, for sharing your story with us here today.
My pleasure, Greg.
It's been so good to talk to you, and I do wish we had worked together. I'm sad about that, but I'm happy I got to talk to you.
Thank you very much. It's always good to move these memories and bring them back to my brain. They are always somewhere in my brain, but sometimes you forget things. It comes back and it makes me smile.
Yes. Well, yeah. Thank you. Well, yeah. You definitely made me smile, and you definitely made me laugh this hour. So, and I'm sure a lot of people will be surprised to hear your origin story. Like how you got to Club Med, you were in law school. I'm sure that didn't come up a lot.
My pleasure. My
And
pleasure.
so here's where we're gonna say goodbye to all our listeners, Fred. So everyone, thanks for listening. Fred, I'll let you take it out.
Thank you very much, everyone. Enjoy this listening, and hopefully you have some comments.
I'm sure they will about that trapeze story. Okay. Thanks so much, everyone. That was the one and only Fred Dawance, and we'll see you all next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.